Imagine walking through the grand halls of a mansion, each corner revealing secrets more intriguing than the last. Today, we're not just exploring extravagant homes, we're uncovering the mysteries of the people who dwell within them. Welcome to a journey where luxury meets the unexpected. In the world of Stoicism, understanding the nature of those we associate with is as important as the grandeur of the places we inhabit. It's a philosophy that guides us not just in enduring life's challenges, but in discerning the true character of those around us. Today we delve deep into the heart of human interactions, guided by the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. We're not just listing people to be cautious of, we are unraveling the complexities behind their facades. From the subtly manipulative to the overtly toxic, join us as we reveal the 10 archetypes that might make you reconsider where you place your trust and respect. Now let's dive into our first archetype. 1. The Manipulative Individual. Beware of those who use lies and emotional games. They might seem charming, often presenting a facade of friendliness and sincerity that can be incredibly convincing. But beneath this allure lies a web of deception, intricately woven with selfish motives. These individuals are masters of manipulation, using their charm as a tool to bend situations and people to their will. Their tactics can range from subtle persuasion to outright emotional blackmail, leaving those around them often bewildered and hurt. In the realm of Stoicism, such behavior is a stark reminder of the importance of discerning the true intentions behind a seemingly appealing veneer. As we navigate our relationships, it is crucial to be vigilant, to recognize these manipulative patterns, and to guard ourselves against those who seek to use us as pawns in their self-serving games. Now let's consider the profound impact these manipulative behaviors have on our environments and well-being. The actions of manipulative individuals can create a toxic environment, eroding the very foundation of trust and causing significant emotional distress. Their behavior, often unpredictable and self-centered, can disrupt the harmony of personal and professional relationships. This disruption not only affects the immediate victims, but can also permeate the wider social circle, leading to a general atmosphere of distrust and unease. The emotional toll of dealing with such individuals can be profound, affecting one's mental health and well-being. It's a stark reminder of how crucial it is to cultivate environments where honesty and integrity are valued and upheld. To protect ourselves from the negative effects of manipulation, it's essential to arm ourselves with strategies and wisdom. Learn to spot the signs of manipulation. These can include inconsistent stories, exaggerated flattery, or guilt-tripping. Once you recognize these tactics, it's crucial to set firm boundaries. This might mean saying no more often, limiting your availability, or even distancing yourself from the manipulator. Remember, in Stoicism, we are taught the importance of protecting our inner peace and well-being. By setting these boundaries, you're not just avoiding unnecessary distress, but also upholding your dignity and self-respect. It's about being proactive in preserving the tranquility of your personal environment. 2. The Constant Critic. The constant critic is someone we've all encountered. These are the gossipers who find pleasure in putting others down, often masquerading their hurtful words as just being honest or telling it like it is. However, what truly is revealed through their words is their own character. A constant stream of criticism, especially about others, can be a reflection of their own insecurities and dissatisfaction. In the philosophy of Stoicism, we're encouraged to focus on self-improvement and resilience, not on belittling others. This type of person's tendency to focus on the faults and failures of others instead of uplifting and supporting highlights a lack of the Stoic virtues of wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. The impact of the constant critic in any environment can be more far-reaching than we might initially realize. Their negativity, like a contagious virus, can spread rapidly, influencing the perceptions and attitudes of others around them. This can lead to a collective mindset where cynicism and disparagement become the norm, overshadowing positivity and constructive feedback. In such a climate, a hostile environment is fostered. not just towards the subjects of the criticism but within the group as a whole. Trust and open communication start to erode, replaced by suspicion and guarded interactions. For those seeking a Stoic way of life, focused on personal growth and inner peace, such an environment can be particularly disruptive, challenging the very principles of harmony and equanimity. Dealing with a constant critic requires a strategic approach. It's wise to limit what you share with them, as the information you provide may fuel their critical nature. Stay guarded in your interactions, choosing your words and the topics of conversation carefully. In essence, protect your personal information and emotional well-being. Remember, in Stoicism, the focus is on controlling our reactions and maintaining our inner peace. By being selective about what you share and staying emotionally guarded, you minimize their impact on your life. And if you're finding value in learning about these insights, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We share wisdom like this regularly, helping you navigate life's complexities with a Stoic perspective. 3. The overly extroverted. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." This brings us to our third archetype, the overly extroverted. On the surface, they may seem friendly and sociable, a seemingly open book, but this superficial charm often masks a lack of sincere interest in forming deep, meaningful connections. Their interactions tend to be more about quantity than quality, focusing on broad networks rather than intimate friendships. This type of individual is often more concerned with appearing popular and well-liked, rather than cultivating genuine relationships. It's a reminder that not all smiles and friendly gestures are rooted in true camaraderie, but can sometimes be a veneer for shallower intentions. Let's delve deeper into the consequences of such superficial connections. The overly extroverted individual's preference for shallow interactions often leads to relationships that lack depth and emotional substance. This superficiality can result in those around them feeling undervalued and unseen, as if they are just another face in the crowd rather than a valued individual. Such experiences can leave one questioning the authenticity of their social connections and may lead to feelings of loneliness or insignificance, even in a seemingly active social life. It's a stark reminder of the importance of seeking out relationships that offer mutual respect and genuine connection, aligned with the Stoic values of authenticity and meaningful engagement. In navigating relationships with the overly extroverted, it's crucial to remember that not all smiles are genuine. While it's important to be open to new connections, it's equally vital to discern the sincerity behind them. Look for depth in conversations and gauge whether the interest shown in you is genuine or just surface level. Cultivate relationships with those who demonstrate a consistent and genuine interest in your well-being and personal growth. This approach aligns with the Stoic principle of focusing on quality over quantity in our social interactions, valuing meaningful connections that enrich our lives rather than fleeting encounters that leave us feeling empty. Before we move on to our next type of individual, take a moment to reflect on your own experiences. Have you encountered the overly extroverted? How did it impact your sense of connection and value in those relationships? Share your stories in the comments below. Your insights not only help us grow, but also create a community of shared learning and support. Now, let's uncover the next archetype on our list. 4. The Pretender. The pretender is a character we've likely all crossed paths with at some point. These individuals engage in conversations without truly listening, a clear sign of disrespect born from a lack of genuine interest. Their interactions often feel one-sided, as if they're going through the motions rather than truly being present in the moment. This lack of authenticity in their engagement can leave others feeling disregarded and unvalued. The pretender's behavior is a stark contrast to the Stoic principle of meaningful communication, where active listening and sincere engagement are valued as cornerstones of building strong, respectful relationships. Reflecting on the pretender, I'm reminded of a personal experience that I believe many of you can relate to. A while back, I had a colleague at work, John, who always seemed engaged in our conversations. But over time, I realized that despite his nods and smiles, John wasn't truly listening. This hit me when I confided in him about a challenging project and got a distracted response. It was then I realized John was a classic pretender, present in body but not in spirit. This encounter taught me to value deeper, more meaningful interactions, where both parties are truly present. Now let's consider the deeper impact of such hollow interactions. The pretender, with their insincerity and lack of genuine engagement, often leads to unfulfilling interactions, making conversations feel like a one-way street. This can result in a sense of frustration and disappointment, as the expectation of a meaningful exchange falls flat. Over time, these one-sided interactions can become a waste of your time and emotional energy, as they seldom lead to productive or satisfying outcomes. This scenario serves as a reminder of the importance of investing your time and emotional resources in relationships where mutual respect and genuine interest are the norm. Seneca once said, "We should give as we would receive, cheerfully, quickly, and without hesitation." In dealing with the pretender, it's essential to value your words and not hesitate to walk away from one-sided interactions. Recognize when your efforts at genuine communication are not being reciprocated. It's not about being dismissive, but about respecting your own time and emotional investment. Conversations should be a two-way street, filled with mutual interest and respect. If you find yourself consistently on the giving end of a conversation with little in return, it might be time to reassess and redirect your energies to more fulfilling interactions that align with the Stoic values of mutual respect and meaningful engagement. As we move on to our next type, ask yourself this: have you ever encountered someone who seems to lack empathy, who struggles to understand or share the feelings of others? How did that affect your interactions and feelings towards them? Share your experiences in the comments as we explore the complexities of dealing with the empathy-lacking individual. 5. The empathy-lacking individual. The empathy-lacking individual is a challenging character to encounter. These are the people who, driven by self-interest, deceive or harm others for personal gain. Their actions are often rooted in a fundamental lack of empathy, an inability or unwillingness to understand and share the feelings of others. This deficiency can lead them to act in ways that are potentially damaging, both emotionally and practically, to those around them. Their interactions are marked not by a consideration for others' well-being, but by how they can benefit themselves. This stark absence of empathy is in direct contrast with Stoic principles, which emphasize the importance of understanding and caring for the well-being of others as a part of living a virtuous life. As we reflect on the nature of empathy in our relationships, let's consider the impact of those who lack this crucial trait. The empathy-lacking individual's inability to empathize often leads to hurtful situations and strained relationships. Their actions, devoid of consideration for others' feelings, can cause emotional pain, conflict, and erosion of trust. This absence of empathy affects not just the immediate victims, but can also disrupt the harmony of entire communities. Such dynamics highlight the critical role of empathy in fostering healthy and respectful relationships, aligning with the Stoic emphasis on understanding and caring for the well-being of others. In dealing with individuals who lack empathy, remember this guiding principle. Trust should be earned by actions, not just words. Observe how people treat others, especially in challenging situations. Actions often reveal more about a person's character than their words. In Stoic philosophy, the emphasis is on living through virtuous actions. Thus, in your relationships, look for consistent, empathetic behaviors that demonstrate a genuine concern for others. This approach will help you form deeper, more authentic connections. Now, I'm curious to hear your thoughts. How do you determine whom to trust in your life? Share your insights in the comments below. Your experiences can provide valuable lessons for us all. Let's move on to our next archetype and see what other insights we can uncover. 6. The Constant Irritator. The Constant Irritator is a unique challenge in social dynamics. These individuals thrive on subtly provoking others and seem to take pleasure in emotional games. Their behavior is often a hidden form of manipulation, designed to unsettle or unnerve those around them. It's not always overt. Their tactics can be underhanded and difficult to pinpoint, making it challenging to address directly. This kind of behavior can create an uncomfortable and stressful atmosphere, where you're left feeling constantly on edge. Understanding and recognizing this archetype is crucial, as it helps in developing strategies to maintain your emotional balance and not fall prey to their manipulative games. The impact of dealing with the constant irritator can be quite profound, as their continuous provocation leads to unnecessary stress and emotional turmoil. The subtlety of their tactics often makes it difficult to confront or address the issue directly, leading to a buildup of frustration and discomfort. This persistent irritation can disrupt your peace of mind, affecting not only your mood, but also your ability to focus and be productive. Over time, these negative emotions can accumulate, leading to a significant toll on your mental well-being. It's a situation that underscores the importance of recognizing and addressing such disruptive behaviors early on to protect your emotional health and maintain a serene state of mind. Cultivating awareness and protecting our emotional health leads us to our next critical point of advice. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." In the face of the constant irritator, this Stoic wisdom is particularly relevant. It's important to stay aware and actively protect your emotional health. Recognize their behavior patterns and understand the impact on your well-being. Instead of responding impulsively, take a moment to step back and assess the situation with calmness and clarity. Employing strategies like setting boundaries, practicing mindfulness, or even limiting your interactions can be crucial in safeguarding your emotional health. Remember, preserving your inner peace is paramount, and it often requires thoughtful effort and self-awareness, especially when dealing with such challenging personalities. As we continue our exploration of challenging personalities, let's turn our attention to a different, yet equally impactful archetype. Have you ever come across someone who seems perpetually engulfed in problems, often of their own making? How did that affect your interactions and perspective? Share your experiences as we delve into understanding the Perpetual Problem-Facer. 7. The Perpetual Problem-Facer. The Perpetual Problem-Facer is an archetype that can be particularly draining to those around them. These are the constant complainers, individuals who seem to have an endless array of problems, but show little interest in finding solutions. Their conversations often revolve around their difficulties, grievances, and the unfairness of their situations. Rather than seeking ways to overcome these challenges, they seem more invested in dwelling on them. This persistent negativity can be exhausting for others, as it not only demands constant attention and sympathy, but also creates an atmosphere of pessimism and hopelessness. It's a behavior that starkly contrasts with Stoic principles, which encourage proactive problem-solving and focusing on what can be controlled, rather than lamenting over what cannot. Reflecting on the broader consequences of such negativity, we see that the impact of the Perpetual Problem-Facer extends beyond just their personal sphere. Their pervasive negativity can become contagious, subtly influencing the outlook and well-being of those around them. Continual exposure to their complaints and pessimistic views can start to color your own perspective, leading to a more negative or hopeless outlook on life. This can be particularly detrimental if you're not conscious of its creeping influence. Over time, it can erode your sense of optimism and resilience, key tenets of Stoic philosophy, and hinder your ability to maintain a balanced and positive mindset. In dealing with the Perpetual Problem-Facer, the key is to prioritize your well-being and ensure you don't get pulled into their drama. While it's natural to want to offer support, it's important to recognize the line between being helpful and becoming enmeshed in their endless cycle of problems. Offer advice or a listening ear, but also set boundaries to protect your own mental and emotional health. Encourage them to seek solutions rather than simply venting, and if necessary, limit the time you spend in such draining conversations. Remember, in Stoicism, there is a strong emphasis on focusing on what we can control, and sometimes that means taking steps to safeguard our own peace and tranquility amidst others' turmoil. 8. The Two-Faced Individual. The two-faced individual is an archetype that presents a unique challenge in trust and authenticity. These individuals appear friendly and supportive to your face, but behind your back they engage in harmful gossip or duplicity. Their behavior is marked by a stark contrast between how they present themselves and their true intentions or feelings. This kind of duplicity can be particularly toxic, as it undermines trust and creates a sense of insecurity and doubt. It's a direct contradiction to the Stoic value of living with integrity, where one's words and actions are consistent and transparent. Navigating relationships with such individuals requires a keen awareness and discernment to avoid being caught in the web of their deceit. Considering the deeper effects of such duplicity, what happens when trust is broken? The betrayal of a two-faced individual can have far-reaching consequences. It can lead to significant trust issues, not only with the individual in question but also in your other relationships. This sense of betrayal can create a ripple effect, causing you to question the sincerity and loyalty of those around you. Such experiences can be deeply unsettling, shaking the foundations of your trust and making it more challenging to open up and connect with others in the future. It's a poignant reminder of the importance of honesty and consistency in relationships, and the impact that their absence can have on our lives. In addressing the challenge posed by the two-faced individual, the most prudent course of action is often to end such relationships in order to protect your integrity. Continuing to associate with someone who has shown a pattern of duplicity can compromise your own values and peace of mind. It's important to surround yourself with people who reflect the qualities you value: honesty, transparency, and respect. While it can be difficult to cut ties, especially if there's a long history or deep connection, maintaining your own integrity and emotional well-being should be a priority. In the spirit of Stoicism, it's about making a conscious choice to align your environment with your principles, fostering relationships that are built on trust and authenticity. As we move forward in our exploration of challenging personalities, let's shift our focus to a particularly damaging archetype. How does persistent negativity affect our environment and personal well-being? Let's dive into understanding the toxic individual, whose influence can be far more damaging than we often realize. 9. The toxic individual. The toxic individual is someone who consistently spreads negativity, actively lowers the self-esteem of those around them, and creates an overall harmful environment. Their behavior is characterized by persistent pessimism, criticism, and often hostility, which can pervade and poison the atmosphere in any setting, be it at home, in the workplace, or in social circles. This relentless negativity impacts not just the immediate targets of their behavior, but also the broader environment, creating a climate of unease and unhappiness. Their actions and words can have a profound effect on your mental and emotional state, chipping away at your happiness and sense of self-worth. Recognizing and addressing the presence of a toxic individual in your life is crucial for maintaining your well-being and protecting your happiness. The presence of a toxic individual can have a deeply destructive impact, extending beyond personal relationships to professional environments as well. In personal settings, their constant negativity and critical nature can erode the foundations of trust and respect, leading to strained relationships and a diminished sense of emotional safety. In professional contexts, their behavior can undermine teamwork, lower morale, and create a hostile work atmosphere. The cumulative effect of their toxicity can stifle growth, creativity, and productivity, impacting not just individuals, but the overall health of the group or organization. Such environments become breeding grounds for stress and discontent, making it challenging to maintain a positive and constructive outlook. In dealing with a toxic individual, it's crucial to recognize these harmful patterns early on. Once identified, setting firm boundaries becomes essential. Determine the limits of what you're willing to tolerate and communicate these boundaries. It's important to be consistent in enforcing them, as toxic individuals often test and push limits. Additionally, focus on nurturing your emotional health. This can involve seeking support from friends, family, or professionals, engaging in self-care practices, and cultivating a positive support network. Remember, you have the right to remove yourself from environments and relationships that are detrimental to your well-being. In line with Stoic principles, it's about taking proactive steps to protect your inner peace and well-being, choosing environments and relationships that align with your values and contribute positively to your life. Let's turn our attention now to yet equally important archetype. How do we recognize those who prioritize their gain over everything else? Let's delve into the mindset of the Opportunist, a character whose actions can significantly impact those around them. 10. The Opportunist. The Opportunist is a character who navigates life with a singular focus, personal gain, often at the expense of others. These individuals are adept at identifying and exploiting opportunities, but their approach frequently involves disregarding the needs and feelings of those around them. Opportunists prioritize their own benefits over mutual or collective well-being, displaying a willingness to take advantage of situations and people to achieve their goals. This self-serving behavior is in stark contrast to the Stoic ideals of virtue and mutual respect, where the emphasis is on the greater good and ethical considerations in one's actions. Understanding and recognizing the nature of the Opportunist is essential, as their actions can have significant implications for those they interact with. Their actions can lead to situations where you're used for their success, feeling undervalued and exploited. Before we delve into the impact of the Opportunist, let's pause for a moment. Think about the times you might have felt used or undervalued in a relationship or a professional setting. Were these instances linked to opportunistic behavior? Reflect on this as we discuss the consequences of such actions. The impact of dealing with the Opportunist can be deeply unsettling. Their actions often lead to situations where you find yourself being used as a means to their ends, leaving you feeling undervalued and exploited. This exploitation is not always obvious at first, as opportunists can be charming and persuasive. However, over time, their true intentions become apparent, often at the cost of your well-being and interests. Being in such a one-sided dynamic can erode your sense of self-worth and trust in others, making it crucial to recognize and address these situations early on. In navigating relationships with the Opportunist, it is vital to stay vigilant. Pay close attention to those whose help or friendship seems conditional on what they can gain from you. This vigilance involves observing patterns in their behavior. Do they only reach out when they need something? Are their offers of help or support always tied to some benefit for themselves? It's important to be aware of these red flags and understand that genuine relationships are built on mutual respect and reciprocity, not one-sided gain. If you find yourself in a relationship with an Opportunist, consider reevaluating the dynamic and the value it brings to your life. Remember, in the spirit of Stoicism, it's about making rational decisions that contribute positively to your life and well-being, which sometimes means distancing yourself from those who view relationships as mere transactions. So remember that your journey through personal and professional life is enriched, not hindered, by these varied experiences. Each archetype we've discussed, each challenging interaction, is not just a trial to endure but a catalyst for your personal growth and self-improvement. By staying true to your principles and embracing each interaction as a learning opportunity, you set the stage for a profound transformation in your life and the lives of those around you. As you move forward, armed with these insights, consider how you can apply them in your daily interactions. And if you're curious about how to navigate conversations wisely, I highly recommend watching our next video, 11 Things You Should Never Tell Anyone. It's a guide that complements what we've discussed today, helping you further hone your communication skills and understanding of human dynamics.